Hello friends and welcome to my hobby home. My name is Kathy. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is our Saturday sew along and today we are working on our Woodruff. We are trying to complete our Woodruff quilt. I have my design, my writings and everything on it. I figured out, and I see I already have something on my sewing machine. What I have done, I enlarged the quilt by 2 rows wider and 2 rows longer, because that way I want to have certain blocks on the corners, and if you did only 1 row, your rows wouldn't end right. I want to have these on every corner. And in order to end with a print block, I have to add 2 rows. So this video is going to be just a little bit different. I'm going to have segments in it. This first segment is going to be just sewing the print blocks with the background. This isn't background. Well, we're going to call this the background block. It's our filler block. It's our background block. It's going to be our background block. So that's all the first part is going to be. The second part is going to be us assembling the rows. Now you're not going to see all the in between in there. I will be pressing. I will be sorting my blocks out, because I will show you how I'm doing all of my blocks. Now your first row starts with a print block. Your second row starts with a background piece. So what I'm doing is, if I have, say like this one here is directional. I want my alphabets to be straight up and down. So every other piece that has this in the center, I'm like, when I'll do straight and when I'll do upside down. That way I'm always sewing on the right hand side, of course. And this one here, let's just say I'm sewing it right side up. I put it right side up. If I wanted it the other way, I would have put it upside down. And if it's upside down, that means it's going to go in an even row. I'm going to get started sewing so I can give you an estimated time on how long it takes to do all the blocks. You know, all of the putting these on. I just do the first 2. And, well, I say the first 2. I do a print block and I do a background block. And, like I said, some of these are not directional, so they can be flipped for an even row. If they are directional and I do it straight up and down, that means it's going to go on an odd row. So we are just going to get these sewing and, you know, match them up. Try to make sure everything is the right size. I haven't been paying attention to these that I've just been putting on here. But your blocks should be trimmed down already. I know all of my blocks are trimmed because I've already done that. Matching up my end to ends, they are good. And I don't know if I said it, but happy Sew Along Saturday. Today is our final day for the Woodruff pattern. I thought about carrying it one more week maybe, and I may do that to add borders, because I am going to be adding borders to mine. So I may do that, you know, to add borders on mine, because this upcoming Thursday, Tammy and I will be completing the Land That I Love. Now this one here I'm going to pin because they're not exactly matching. So I will pin that with those 2 points matching. And I'll put this one under the needle matching. And we'll just get to that. But anyway, Tammy and I are completing the Land That I Love this upcoming Thursday, the 31st. We will be starting a new sew-along in September. It will be Yuletide Sampler. I may have a link for that down in the description. If not, where I received mine. Now, the Yuletide Sampler does have templates in it. I do not like templates. I am not a template person. So I went and found the place that had the pattern and the templates. It's a double pack with templates in it. But it's Barn Chick Quilts, I believe is what it's called. And I was able to get both the pattern and the templates, or rulers. It's rulers. It's not really templates. It's rulers. But I was able to get both of them from Barn Chick Quilts. Like I said, I believe that's what it's called, and I'm actually pretty certain that's what it's called. So I got both of mine there. And, you know, some people may be okay using templates. I looked at the templates because I'm thinking, well, I might be able to laminate them, you know, and use them like that. But I just decided that was too much trouble for me. And I didn't have these rulers anyway, so it won't hurt to have these rulers. Trying to get my fabrics straight there. Now, since I did the other alphabet straight up and down, I'm doing this one upside down so it can go on one of the even rows. I'm doing them that way so I can have a mixture of them on different rows. I don't want them all on the same rows, or otherwise my whole quilt will be, every other row will be nothing but alphabets. Now I am making this quilt as a bed quilt for my bed, and it's actually going to be like a bedspread for me. So the backing on it is actually just going to be probably just a unbleached cotton. That may be all it's going to be. I'm not sure yet. Now, here's another alphabet, and it's going straight up and down. So it's like I do every other one straight up and down or upside down. I alternate the way I sew them. But I had decided on enlarging this one because I really like this pattern. And I thought it would be nice to have a Christmassy one. Now, granted, I know I've told y'all this, and I've told y'all many, many times I was going to get my Christmas decorations put away. My Christmas tree's still up. I mean, hey, it's Christmas in July. I need it up now. And I'm halfway there, so why take it down now? Because I'd just be putting it back up in November. But no, really, I am going to be taking it down tomorrow because my grandson is coming to stay tomorrow night with me, and I really need it out of there because he likes to play, and he's got riding toys, and he likes to ride the toys. So I need to get as much as possible out of my living room so he can ride the toys. I need to tell my husband we need to get some different end tables because the ones we've got have glass on them. I don't know why he got these, because when we purchased the sofa and love seat and the lamps, these were the tables that were there. We got them at an estate sale. They were brand new. And I know the person that had them, and they didn't have any little children, but I have little children and I have cats now, and they're white or cream colored sofas. my sofa is ruined with apple juice on it. I'm sure I could get it out, but I'm not really interested in spending a whole day trying to get it out. Because next time they come over, it's just going to get messed up again. So it's not really going to matter. But anyway, I had told him I didn't want the end tables. But for some reason, when he came home with the furniture, the end tables was in it. I didn't want the end tables. And like I said, because they're glass, I wanted wood top, wooden end tables that I could just set. I wanted narrow end tables that I could set the lamps on, because these are big and round, so they don't fit real well. So I'm probably about to get rid of some end tables anyway, because I do not like these end tables. They're metal and glass, and I have to clean that glass every day, it seems like. I do not like the glass. But once I get all of the pieces sewn together, I guess I need to go on and do my first row and last row corner pieces. Now the last piece on the top row and bottom row, they're not going to have a piece on it. So these are my top row and bottom row first block. So let me go on and get these done. And I need to think about how many am I going to have on the end that's not going to have. Oh, well, I just pulled this one from over there and popped it on. I need to think about how many is not going to have that background block to the right of it. So first off, we need to check that. Well, let me get my first and last row done here, which I will pick these out. I know it's going to have the red center with the green corners. All four of my corners, that's what they're going to be. Red centers with green corners. Now, even though I am going to be doing a border, I still want all of the corners to have the same, technically, block. So we're going to have 6 rows that does not have a background piece to the side of this. So let me get 6. I have 2 over here. Now they can't all have the green on there. Let me find some reds. So maybe we'll alternate it. A green, red, green, red. Well, what's that red one have? It's got the alphabets too. Oh, I just noticed I've got some darker ones in here. How about a red, a black, a plaid, and a gray? Okay, so that'll be good for me to, I'll have 6 that is held out. So when I have my 2 over here already for the top and the bottom, and then I have my other 4 over here. So let's make sure on the other one. So now we're going to have 5 of the grays that do not have one to the right. So I'm going to pull my grays. This way I know I have my enders over here and they're not in the way. We're not going to get them mixed up. I might have done too many blocks, but that's okay too. That'll give us some to pick and choose from. Now, this is part of, you know, figuring out your layout and all that. I am not going to include that part in the video, how I'm figuring out my layout, because for everyone, their layout is going to be different. You know, like I said, I like the four corners. I want to have the same exact kind of color scheme block going on. So that's what I'm doing with mine. What you do with yours is probably going to be completely different, which is perfectly fine. It is your quilt, and you make it to suit where you're going to have it in your home. Me, it's going to be on my bed, and that just makes more sense to have it, you know, uniform like that. Now, Thursday night, when Tammy and I complete our Land That I Love, I will be taking that to my long armor to get long armed. And I haven't quite decided or figured out where that is going to be. I just haven't. Because that's going to be one that's really hard to get rid of. But it's not really a bed quilt. So I don't know. I don't know. That one is going to pose a problem for me for sure. I guess it could be a wall hanger, but that is one of the reasons why I was talking to my husband about us getting different furniture. I really want to get rid of the sofa. Keep the love seat, get rid of the sofa. And get just 2 reclining chairs that don't sit next to the wall, with one like end table between them. I don't know, did I do that one upside down? Yes, I did. But that's just my mind. And if I do that, if I get rid of the sofa and just get 2 reclining chairs, then I could put my quilt hanger clamps up on the wall there behind it. I would actually rather do like a curtain rod up there and hang it on a curtain rod. And that might be one that I would actually put in my quilt show, because this next year, well, the Quilters Guild is going to be having a quilt show next year in 2026, because they had the shop hop this year and they alternated every other year. They do the shop hop, and then the alternating years, they do the quilt show. I wouldn't put it in there to win anything. I would just put it in there to, you know, show. Because I think it's a beautiful quilt. I would definitely need to make a label for it, and I'd have to make sleeves for it to hang up on. That would be nice to do. Because I can tell you, all of my blocks are not perfect. They're not, but, you know, it's a beautiful quilt. And that's all that counts sometimes, if it's a beautiful quilt. And like I said, I wouldn't put it in the thing to win anything. I would put it in just to show. Like, I know some people, they've said you have to hand bind or something like that. I don't hand bind. I couldn't even start to hand bind. Let's see how we are at about 30 minutes piecing our blocks together. That may not be how long you've been watching, because if I just stop talking for moments, long dead silences, I will edit that out of the video. And like if I have to stop and get up and go get a water or something, that time is still in here, but it's not, you know, that'll be edited out too. Okay, I'm getting a notice that my bobbin is running low, so we are playing bobbin roulette right now. I am hoping I can get all of my pieces put together, because I only have, it looks like 3. And I got a bunch of this left, but I think I cut extra of these. I'm pretty certain I did. So it looks like we're down to our last 2. So what will happen after this, I will come back with a fresh bobbin, pressed blocks, and kind of my rows laid out, so we can start assembling the rows. I will be just giving you sew times. Right now, I'm going into my last block right here, or my last print square that I have, and we're still under 30 minutes. So the sewing time, it does not take that long to do this. For me, it's going to be the sorting out the units that are already sewn together and trying to figure out how they lay in a quilt. So guys, 1 second and we'll be right back with everything sorted and laid out, ready for our rows to start being assembled. Now this is our phase 2 of the video. I have all of my squares pressed, and I have my rows lined out. I have placed my end block on top of each row here. So what I'm going to start doing, this is my first row. I have the rows upside down because the first block is going to be my corner block. So I will take that bottom one and we will start just by piecing that one row. We're not going to do the first 2 of each row, then come back. We're not doing that. That will confuse me really good. If you're able to do that, do whatever is easiest for you. For me, that would confuse me for sure. I did not have to change out my bobbin. It was over halfway full, so I'm not going to, well, it wasn't over halfway full. It was over halfway of what a normal bobbin would be. And how I'm doing this, I'm doing the first 2 and then I'm going to be taking them off. And I am going to then put my next piece on. And each row has 4 of these, and it ends with my individual block that I put on there. Now, I know probably by the last row I'll have this down pat and it won't be confusing me too much, but I like to keep any possibilities of confusion down, especially when I'm doing rows. How I did my rows, I did like my row 1 and row 2. I laid them down, one on top of the other, so I would know, and I would put like one set of 2 squares down on block 1, and then I would do it for row 1, then I would do it for row 2, and then I would do the second set of 2 squares, because I don't want to have like all reds in one area, all greens in one area, and all blacks in one area. I want to make sure to, you know, have a good mix of colors in there. So now we are going to our next block here, and I will tell y'all that the blocks that had the alphabets in them, we have a lot of those. I did not realize how many of those there was, and I don't think I used any of them as the disappearing blocks, which I probably should have. But I didn't. I didn't use any of those as the disappearing 4-patch. They were all the center blocks. So that's going to lead to a very, a very, very interesting quilt here. Now, I know a lot of you don't have to do it like I'm doing it. I have to do it this way because if I don't, I will mix my rows up, and I don't want to do that because I have them laid out specifically. And this, of course, would be good for me to have my design wall. My husband has the boards for me. They're just put out in his store building until I get ready for them. I'm ready for them, but I don't have room for them at the moment because how I am going to use them, they're going to be freestanding behind me, and I want to make sure I can't push my chair into them and break them because they are foam boards. But how we're going to do it is I'm going to finish my project boxes back there and try to get some room back there so I can sit it back there. But what I'm going to do with this row, I'm going to lay it over here. That is my row 1. So row 1 is now laid over here, out of the way, ready to be pressed. Now I will start my row 2. Now row 2 is going to start with the background and then a square, and then we will put the background on top of that square. And mine is going to have 11 rows. I know I will be doing a border. I'm not exactly sure the size of the border. I had calculated that all out. But then I bought enough fabric to do rows. And I don't want to do it all rows. I do want to have a border. Now, I was saying this one here is a bed quilt, and I thought, I completely forgot. I already have my backing for this. So, it's going to be a light gray with the, it's not polka dots. It's like little snowflakes on it. Okay, so we will just keep going, and I will grab the next. I grabbed here, and it's the next row, and I'm like, that's not right. So, oh, I hope I didn't grab. No, I did. I couldn't have grabbed because it would have messed it up. I would have had to have grabbed that first fabric. Now, I won't show assembling all the rows, because that will take a really long time, because I will be pinning everything, but I will show you enough so you can see exactly how I'm doing the quilt. And I know I have said I was going to put a post out there for the Woodruff quilts, and I have not done it yet in the Facebook group. I am so sorry, y'all. I don't get in the Facebook group enough. I do comment in there, but that's because I get notifications on it. I'm just awful about things like that. There's not enough hours in the day to do the things I want to do. But please feel free to share pictures of your Woodruff quilts if you have made one, and I will try to remember and do that. By the time y'all see this, I'm hoping I have already remembered to do that. And that way you can post your quilts. Now, I have to check and look at these to see which way's up or down, because they have the alphabet blocks. Okay, so I'm making sure to lay that where I can tell the up. Okay, so now I'm on my third row. And I have 11 rows, guys. So, like I said, I'm not going to carry you through all 11 of the rows, just like I'm not going to carry you through putting all the rows together. That is a lot, but I will bring you guys along, and I'll do a few at a time, because it's going to be a long video. And I have been having trouble with my editing. I am using the YouTube beta for Androids. I think that's what it's called. And if you watched the video yesterday and you noticed it was kind of choppy, that's why. It will not let me transition and clip pieces together. When I edit out areas, I normally transition it to where you can't tell it's not real. Well, it's just not real choppy. Well, I could not do that yesterday. I had to take them all out, and that's why it was 7 o'clock almost before the video came out. I had the video ready by 6. It should have been able to upload by 6, but it would not upload with the transitions in it. So I had to take that time, because it ended up being a 2-hour video. I had to take that time to take that out and then upload it, or export and upload then. So yesterday was a struggle for me. And I say yesterday because it is probably after midnight. Probably. I slept late and this morning, so I'm kind of good to go a little bit. And after I got the video from yesterday uploaded, I took a little nap. And when I take a little nap, I'm good to go for several hours after that. It could be a 2-hour nap, and I'll be good for, 3-4 hours. And that's kind of what I'm running on right now. So I'm probably about an hour in. Now, I think probably what I'm going to do is extend this one more week. And this week just be assembling our rows And next week be assembling our quilt. I think that's how I'm going to do it. I really thought I wanted this completed by now, but you know what? If it's not, it's okay. And I knocked something off. No, I didn't. I already grabbed. It's late, y'all. It's late, or rather, it's early. But let's see. Let's get I'm going to turn these over. The reason I'm turning them over is because how I laid them down, I did the first piece on the bottom. So I'm technically picking up the first piece that I wanted as my first piece in the row. So now that I've made that executive decision to run this at least one more week, I don't want y'all rushing. You don't have to. We'll extend this out one more week. Today what we'll be doing is just sewing our rows together. And like I said earlier, next week what we'll do is assemble the rows together into a quilt. Because I know myself, I'm not going to be able to do a lot of this today. Or tonight, or this morning, or whatever we want to call it right now. I'm pretty certain it's late. But I know tomorrow I say tomorrow, it's going to be Saturday. But like I said, it's probably after midnight already and I'm still sewing. But I know Saturday morning I do need to check my garden. I had pulled a potato plant up because it had already flowered. It had already died back. So what I did, I just pulled it up and I left it laying on top of the bed. And I need to go out there and pull all my potato plants up because I think I'm just going to plant a flower garden for the fall. Because I don't have a lot of success with a fall garden. I mean, I haven't really had a lot of success with this garden either, but I haven't been able to go to it like I needed to and tend to it. I've gotten cherry tomatoes and a few squash off of it. Okay, and this is our background row. So I'm actually going to stop this video at 1 hour of sewing time. And I don't believe I'll have all of the rows sewn together. But remember, I added 2 additional rows to the side. You know, the width. And then 2 longer. So y'all's is, if you're making it based off of the pattern, it's only 9 rows long. I have made mine 11 rows long. And currently, I only have 4 rows completely sewn together. And I'm probably about to end here with you guys. And I'm working on my 5th one. I am going to go on and do my 5th row at least. We will be ending this soon because I have noticed, I was telling you about the editing issues. I have noticed when I let them get a good bit longer than an hour, they will not, I don't know what happens to it. It likes an hour to an hour and a half, and anything over that kind of messes it up. And when it comes to editing, I'm not a guru, so I have to do whatever I can to make my life easier on that. Because, oh, it editing is a beast in itself. And I like to not have to edit it. And if I actually keep the cameras going when I do a large pressing and it takes a long time, then I have to edit that out. So even though that part's not in the video, it still makes the video go into like 2 hours. Okay, so my bobbin has run out. So I think that's a good sign to say, hey, let's stop right here. I will show you. I do have 4 rows already done. And this is what the rows look like once they are put together. So I'm going to call it a night right now. I don't have my watch on. Normally I could tell about what time it was, but I know I came in here at about 11 o'clock. And because like I said, I had taken a nap after the other video got it all up. And I actually took about 30 minutes to an hour to get my rows laid out, and I just paused at that time. So what we're going to do is I will go on and finish these up, and next Saturday when we come together, we will be piecing the rows into the quilt. So guys, thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you have enjoyed doing the Woodruff quilt. If you are doing this sew along with me, that's great. I absolutely love it. Let me know. This is a beautiful pattern. I have found so many nice patterns. It is a free pattern. If you go to my channel and click the playlist for sew alongs, you will see so many out there. I've done a few that are paid for patterns, but the majority of my sew alongs are free patterns. I think the Battenberg might have been the only sew along I did that was paid for. But the majority of the ones that I do are free patterns. So feel free, go check it out. If you have not yet, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, I hope you have a very blessed day. Bye, guys.